Time for another charging war. Contestant number 1, we have this bad boy, the Razr 5G 2020 by Motorola. And contestant number 2, we have my new gadget of the month, the OnePlus 8T. Took me forever to get the battery to dead, but it's dead. Time of death was just a little bit ago. We're definitely going to do OEM. We have Motorola's Turbo Power. Ooh, hope that's going to reach. We're going to have to switch these. And the OEM cable for OnePlus. We have this power supply unit, Warp Charge 65. And if you read that text really carefully, 65 watt max. Now what's unique about this cable for the OnePlus 8, it's a little thicker and a little more rigid, and it is USB-C to USB-C. Whereas the Motorola is USB-A to USB-C. Okay, 1748. That's a lot of math. I'm going to come back at 6 o'clock. As it turns out, that didn't quite happen. I came back at 8:30. Nice even number, both charging nicely. On the left, we have the OnePlus 8T using Warp Charge 65. And on the right, we have Turbo Power by Motorola. Interesting point. This one was about 5 and it just went to 4%, and I was going to shoot a video and then it just powered off. Interesting. And the Motorola has this cool charging animation that changes color as the battery percent increases. So nice job, Motorola. And we're using OEM cables and OEM chargers. 3%. 4%. And the test continues. 10 minutes later. Holy cow, 40%. Motorola, 14. Oh, 15. Interesting. 20 minutes later. 70% on the OnePlus 8T. Ooh, Turbo Power, 27. So close. And we're just about, there we go, 9 o'clock. 39% for the Razr using Turbo Power. And the 8T by OnePlus, 95%, are you kidding me? Wow, that's fast. Now one thing to note that's really important, the phone is not hot at all. Neither phone is actually. It helps that they're off and I'm not using them. And if we follow the OEM cables down, the Turbo Power charger, slightly warm, and the OnePlus Warp 65 charger, I mean, it's warm, but it's not hot. It's definitely warmer than the Motorola. Curiouser and curiouser. I need one of those laser temperature gauges. Now most people are not going to charge their phones off, so we're going to boot this up. And we're going to boot this one up. Okay, Razr wins on the boot up screen, that's for sure. Whoa, 99%. So 1 day and 3 hours ago, YouTube 41%, Messenger 15%, Photos 8%, speed test, Facebook, OnePlus launcher. Okay, the normal stuff. Screen time, there we go. 7 hours and 19 minutes. That is a lot more than the OnePlus 6T that I've been using since 2018. Wow. And I do like this feature. When you click on View Detailed Usage right here in the top, you can go show full device. So there we go. And that was using AOD. So AOD always on display, and the normal stuff, I still got that much battery life out of it. And on the Razr, takes a little bit to load. Last full charge 35 hours ago. Screen usage 3 hours and 44 minutes. Now, not a legit comparison, but these are both two brand new phones. Much bigger battery on this one. And this one is using the Warp Charge 65, but this is using turbocharge. Different technologies, who knows? But the battery life is, well, more than twice as long. And just like that, we're at 100% at 2105. There we go, the stats don't lie. 0% completely dead, would not even turn on, to full 100% in just 35 minutes. Just like the website says. Turbo power, well, not nearly as impressive as OnePlus. So you can see that it was off the whole time. You can see that big jump. Now I typically leave them plugged in for just a few minutes, and then I'll unplug them. And I normally do not charge my devices overnight. I'm just kind of weird that way. But I do like the charging animation that Razr does. That's kind of cool when it's off. When it's on, it doesn't do it anymore. It's kind of a bummer. And as far as charging animation when it's on, turbocharged to 47%. Watch this. Turbo power connected. Let's turn off. Come on. Turbo power connected. Okay, this is charged enough. Now watch this. Warp charge 65. That was cool, right? So cool. Oops, typo there. Well, it's been over an hour since the OnePlus was fully charged. Been using it. It's only down to 92%. Meanwhile, the Razr is at 97, and it only went up 2% in the last 15 minutes. Now, most phones are really slow, that last 10%, even the last 20%. But I've done several charging cycles with the Motorola, and yeah, this is standard. And it's in normal mode, just do not disturb. It's not in airplane mode. It doesn't really charge that much faster. There's nothing going on in the background. It's just taking a while.
And the test finally finished.
22:24. So it took 2 hours and 24 minutes to fully charge the Moto Razr. And as we saw before, it only took 35 minutes to charge the OnePlus 8T. So during that full time, I was able to get another hour and a half of usage off the OnePlus 8T, and it shows that I have a good 10 hours left after, 90 minutes of usage. And it says right there, screen time, 45 minutes. Awesome. Okay, I'll show you that charging animation. Here we go, ready? Charging, turbo power, and it kind of looks like a water bubble filling up. Oh, that's just fun. Turbo power. But when you compare turbo power to warp charging, not so much. Even the fast charging from 2019 by Samsung is still faster than turbo power, especially when you consider, wow, this thing is dirty. So I took off the case because I was filming, and wow, well, there you go. Real life. It's shiny, but it is a fingerprint magnet. You know what? Most phones are, but man, it sure is beautiful, and yes, it is razor thin. For a 2800 milliamp battery, I would think it would charge faster, to be honest. Am I disappointed? Yes. So we'll do a standby test now. I'm going to go to bed. Going to put these both in airplane mode. Close all the apps. Close the phone. So 2240. And here we are, a peek into my personal life of journaling, right? So we left off saying goodnight, and the following day, it was Sabato, il giorno successivo, and what do you know? Let's check out the battery leakage. So the OnePlus 8T only fell 2%, while the Razr fell 4%. I've ran these tests several nights, and it's about consistent. When I tested my new iPhone SE back in April of this year, there was a 0% battery loss overnight in airplane mode. And at 0646, I turned both gadgets back on. So later that same day, I checked the battery just before going to bed, 46%, 56, and then 57% for the Moto Razr. The same routine, place both phones into airplane mode. I placed both phones in airplane mode before going to sleep. And then the next day, 44, 52. So I'll only have 2% loss on OnePlus. And again, wow, 5% on the Motorola Razr. So what does that mean? Well, this phone has a smaller battery life. That's one thing to consider. Whereas this phone has a much larger battery life and less battery leakage when in standby mode. That's what I'm really testing, is standby mode. So once again, that Motorola Razr lost. So the next day we'd ran some more tests and we did some more charging, and you can see once again that the OnePlus 8T, that Warp 65 charge, is off the hook. It's just incredibly fast. And yeah, what do you say about a OnePlus phone? I mean, they charge fast, the battery life is good. When you clean the screen, it looks pretty. I just got this clear case off Amazon. Someone's going to ask me. People always ask me about the cases that I have. This was a real inexpensive case. I believe this was an inexpensive case. It was only $8.99. And nice texture inside. Gel, not too rigid. Real easy to put on your phone. And then it has these nice bumpers. And then I saw this in the video. They do this like slam test. Yeah, see it? It protects the phone. That's nice. So now I don't have to worry about scratching it. And this is just called the Ossipher. O-S-O-P-H-T. Ossipher for the OnePlus 8T. Clear. There you go. Pretty cool, very generic. This was definitely not made in Utah, but it was a good deal. So, in summary, the OnePlus phone does have a bigger battery. They both have fingerprint sensors, which are nice. They both have 5G, which are nice. And when you unfold the Razr, you can see that the screen real estate is pretty close. Yes, the OnePlus has about a centimeter more. This has 120 hertz, and this one is just the 60 hertz refresh rate, which is still really good. And different strokes for different folks. They're very different phones. The main thing to consider is what UI you want. This has the, not proprietary, I would call it unique, Oxygen OS UI, and I really like it. If you go into settings, go to about, this is running Oxygen 11 and it's running Android 11 as well. And then as far as the battery, let's see if we can find that. This one does come with 12 gigabytes of RAM. I mean, let me try to summarize as best I can without reviewing all the specs, because I think that's kind of boring sometimes. Did you guys hear that? This thing makes funny noises once in a while. I would say that this is more of a powerhouse phone. It's really close to a flagship phone with just a few subtle changes in the camera and adding wireless charging, which would be so nice. I think this could be sold as a flagship phone. This, with the specs and the really close to almost all-day battery life, not quite a flagship phone, but you're buying the concept. You're buying the fact that you get this cool Razr foldable phone, and that's why it's the $1,300. They're really different phones. This was just a battery test. Actually, you know what? I quickly took down some notes. Here's my comparison. Camera quality. It's a tie. They're both really good, except for the OnePlus has wide angle. You know, maybe I already have a GoPro, and that may not be an issue. Build quality. I've had this for 3 weeks. I've had this for 1 week. They haven't fallen apart yet. They both have a good build quality. It's debatable. I mean, we'll know more in 2 to 4 years when people do reviews about that. Portability, the Razr is a winner, especially with the case off. I love how it just fits into my pocket. So nice. Gaming, hands down, OnePlus 8T. Video quality, OnePlus 8T. I've just had some weird things going on. I mean, it's good, but not for what it could be. And warranty. They both come with 1-year warranties. The big one, the cost. This is still retailing for $750, whereas this one is $1,400 here in the US. But it is cutting technology and comes in this cool polished graphite. That hinge is awesome. I'll be really quiet. So no creaking. I've had no issues with the screen, but yet again, my concern is after a year or two, is that going to be an issue? And then right there, you can feel those ridges. It's kind of weird. They both have fingerprint sensors. They both have Face ID, but the Face ID on the Razr, a bit wonky. It's not consistent. Whereas the Face ID with the OnePlus, it just works every time. So there you go. There's my comparison. Which one would I recommend? Based on the cost and overall performance, sorry Razr, I'm going to have to go with the OnePlus. Also, call quality. You know, OnePlus wins again. I've had problems doing Wi-Fi calls, and my home office is in my basement. That's a big deal breaker. If I can't make calls, I can't use the phone. And the 2 reasons I buy phones are one for the phone and one for the camera. And overall, the OnePlus is the winner. So thumbs up OnePlus, great job. The only thing I really wish you would have done is included wireless charging. And there we go. That's all I have for today about the charging capabilities and a quick comparison between the Motorola Razr 5G 2020 and the OnePlus 8T that I'm filming on. Now it does have this portrait mode, so if I close up, you should be seeing everything else blurred in the background. So hopefully that works. Thanks for watching. See you again real soon. And don't forget my motto, run farther to go further in life. Goodbye. Now I couldn't resist. I wanted to try the focus tracking one more time. This time with Stay Puft. So if we can get it to focus on just him, me and the entire background behind me should be blurred out, right? Good job, OnePlus. What do you guys think? Pithy comments down below.
See ya!